All right, can everybody hear me? Is there anybody even on here? I can't even tell. I think I had the mic turned off. It's crazy. Ah. Justin, welcome to the stream. How you doing, man? I think you're the first one on. Oh, there's some people. Howdy, howdy. I'm seeing some names. How long is this stream? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Celtic Bird, welcome, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, today is my birthday. Sam, welcome. Mr. Gov, thank you. I appreciate it. All the well wishes and birthday wishes. This is cool. And actually, because it is my birthday, and we're going to get a little bit festive here, let's put that on. Yeah. Worship me for the monarch that I am on this day of my birth. So how's everybody holding up in quarantine? Is everybody home from work? Anybody working from home? How are you all holding up? I took today off. I've been working from home all week, but I had already planned to take today off. And so I already had the day off scheduled, and then we got hit with this, so it was almost like a waste of my time off. But I've just been sitting around binge watching shit. I've been watching The Outer Limits on Hulu. Got to talk about Brady going to the Bucks. I will gladly talk about that. Jake, welcome. Howdy. Oh, Justin, you're still working 40? I'm sorry. I haven't had a chance to listen to the Talk is Jericho with Matt Hardy yet. I did see like a transcript of what Hardy said, and it didn't surprise me. It pretty much sounded like exactly what I would have expected him to say. Working fast food. Well, that's a tough gig these days, I'm sure. You're probably, I would imagine you're either super, super busy or there's nobody there. Like, I imagine there's no in between. It's either super, super busy or the drive-through line is just out the door. Just around the block twice. Of course, I haven't been outside in 3 days, so, you know. And actually, before I get into the stream, my sister, kind as she is, she actually set it up so that some Amazon packages came to me on my birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and open these right now. You get to see me open some of my presents. She told me it was a few movies I've never seen that she highly recommends, and a video game comic, whatever the hell that is. I mean, I told her, if it's a Castlevania Mega Man crossover comic, I'm going to lose my shit, because that's the coolest thing ever. We Are Pro Wrestling, welcome, thank you, I appreciate it. You've just been playing video games? Not a bad option. I, for one, am overjoyed Tom Brady's out of the AFC. I can imagine. All right, let's open this sucker. Okay. My sister sent me 2 movies. The Peanut Butter Falcon, which she had mentioned that to me before. She'd highly recommended it to me. She said it's a really good, like, sweet film. So, I'll check that out. And Whiplash, starring Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. I've never seen this. I don't think I've ever heard of it. But I'll take her recommendation. I'm looking for all the media I can consume at this point. And now let's open this one. All right, another movie, Prisoners. With Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Viola Davis, Maria Bello, Terrence Howard, Melissa Leo, and who was that? Paul Dano. Yeah, I've never heard of this, but, you know, could be interesting. Could be good. I'll check it out. Got some movies to watch this weekend. That'll be fun. And here's the comic. Oh my god. The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I think, is this the one that Yeah, these are the comics that were in the Nintendo Power magazine back in the day. Oh my god. These are great. I remember loving those as a kid. It was one of the reasons I would get super excited about Link to the Past, or about Nintendo Power. When I was a kid, my two favorite magazines were the WWF magazine and Nintendo Power, and those comics were a big reason why. So, yeah, that's really cool. I'm going to have to thank my sister. Actually, let me thank her right now. Celtic Bird, all of those are great movies. Okay, good to hear. That's great to hear. So, alright, I'm just going to shoot my sister a quick message just to say thank you. Okay. Alrighty, yeah, so you got to see me, the closest I've ever done to an unboxing video, opening my birthday presents. You're gonna love Peanut Butter Falcon. Yeah, people have recommended it to me. A lot of people have recommended it to me. So, stream has started. I've opened my birthday gifts. Said hi to pretty much everybody that's on the stream. So, with that said, I designed this to be a way to kind of cure my boredom. Because I am bored out of my goddamn skull right now with the quarantine. Like I said, I haven't been outside in 3 days. I didn't have to log into work today. So I'm just kind of going stir crazy, trying to consume any media I can. I've been binging TV and doing a lot of reading and things like that. But I need to like do something to keep myself busy so I don't get cabin fever. So if you have any questions for me, now is the time to ask it, because this is designed to be a question and answers video, so go ahead. Did I know about WrestleMania 6 being 2 nights on Saturday and Sunday? Yes, I did. I'd heard about that. It's officially going to be the weirdest WrestleMania of all time, by design. And it's probably going to be the worst Mania of all time, but not through... It's going to be a bad Mania that no one will fault the WWE for. It's going to be like, what do? You just kind of shrug your shoulders and go, what do you do? WWE SmackDown, yeah, Jeff, WWE SmackDown Fox 11 today is, I'm a big fan. I don't know what you're trying to say there. Thoughts on Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, my favorite sci-fi movie ever. Blade Runner is a movie that a lot of people love, and I completely get why people love that movie. Visually, the themes, there's a lot of great ideas in Blade Runner, and I would say that I really like the movie, but it's not one of my favorites. My biggest problem with the movie is, and I hate to say this because I've never said this about another movie before, but I don't like Harrison Ford in the movie. I don't like his performance, and I feel like he has no chemistry with Sean Young at all whatsoever, and they're supposed to be the emotional core of the film, and it doesn't really translate, but the movie has a lot of great themes, shot really well, looks great, and Rutger Hauer's performance is top-notch. He is the best thing in that movie. I will say this, though. I really like the sequel, the one that came out a couple years ago. Blade Runner 2049, I think it was called. It doesn't have Rutger Hauer's performance in it, but they recaptured the look of the original film better than I would have expected, and I really like the cast this time around, so I really enjoyed the sequel. There's a movie recommendation for you out there. If you haven't seen the sequel, I highly recommend it. Rumor is Lesnar may not make it to Mania because he's stuck in Canada. Oh, shit. Like, oh, man. It makes it even worse. I think this WrestleMania will be like WrestleMania 2 this year. No, I think it'll be like... It will look like a trial run-through of WrestleMania that they call WrestleMania. That's what it's going to look like. Yeah, the sequel's great. I really enjoyed the sequel. I did manage to get myself 2 birthday gifts. I got myself like a tiny cake at the store yesterday. I managed to get myself like a really small cake, like a strawberry shortcake. And and I got myself a banana bread flavored beer, and I'm like, that sounds right up my alley. So that's my birthday present to me. Did you watch the Big Bang Theory finale? I did. I'd kind of given up on the show a few seasons beforehand, but I did watch the finale. And I thought it came off reasonably well. I enjoyed the finale to Big Bang Theory more than I did the finale to Game of Thrones. I think I mentioned that in a video. It's like, yeah, I live in a world where Big Bang Theory had a better finale than Game of Thrones. This is the world we live in now. You think they should have just held off Mania until June or something? They could have, but at the same time, it's like... Wrestling's a unique animal where the episodic storytelling of it doesn't lend itself to, if you take a break or if you try to postpone things, it kind of throws everything out of whack. So maybe WWE is just bull rushing ahead to get WrestleMania out of the way so they can move on with whatever plans they had. And, because WWE has a pay-per-view a month or more than a pay-per-view a month, there's a lot of different scenarios involved with that. So I think the thinking was just to get past this and then move on to whatever storylines they have cooked up for the rest of the year. But all I'll say is thank God that this happened. The coronavirus happened after the major breakout happened after they got done with the Saudi Arabia show, because I would hate to think that all those wrestlers would be stuck over there in Saudi Arabia. Oh my God. Yeah, the NBA's holding off. Losing sports, that's another thing that's really kind of cheesed me off. Kind of like, you look for something to do, and sports are usually a reliable go-to, and it's like, dude, I'll even take the XFL, and there's nothing. And losing March Madness in particular was really upsetting, because I look forward to March Madness every year, but... I have a friend that's a Game of Thrones fan. She's probably the only one that wasn't pissed about the ending. Well, I guess somebody had to be happy with it. There's also no guarantee things will be fine in June. That's also true. Yes, we don't know how long this is going to go. That's part of the whole play it by ear, see how it goes deal that we're kind of living with right now. Actually, watching Dynamite, it sounded like they weren't sure when they were going to come back. That was the other, Omega opened up saying, we don't know when we're going to have another Dynamite. And it's like, oh shit, this is really serious. I mean, I would prefer, I think AEW's in a better situation to do that. Especially, I mean, it really sucks that they can't do their War Games match next week. But I'd prefer they held off on the War Games because, again, wrestling's this weird animal where you need the audience to really get the full experience, and trying to watch wrestling shows without an audience is just weird. It's just really, really weird. Yeah, different type of March Madness. Yeah, for sure. Oh, my goodness. I feel like I should put little Michelle Tanner over my face. How's that sound? How's that look? Yep. How's that? Yeah. Don't I look adorable now? I remember when people had crushes on the Olsen twins, and I never understood it because I was like, no, wrong one. Wait a minute. Sorry, I had to adjust things. Okay. But some people had like crushes on the Olsen twins when they got older. I'm like, I don't know. I still see her as like the little toddler from Full House. I can't reconcile that in my head. Brady going to the Bucks. What do I think? Well, it's a holy shit for sure. Because I thought for sure if anybody was going to retire with his team, I thought for sure Brady would be one of the ones to retire as a New England Patriot. And doesn't look like that's going to happen. I mean, this'll. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Who knows? Some detractors of Brady have accused him of being just a system guy, and it was mostly Belichick that was the cause of his success. So now is Brady's chance to kind of prove them wrong, I guess. So we'll see how all that goes. He is going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who aren't exactly the best team in the world. So I don't know what the Bucs fans are expecting. I don't know what they think is going to happen with a 42-year-old quarterback, but again, who knows? It'll be one of the most interesting things about next season, assuming next season starts on time. We'll see. Yeah, they were saying, I noticed that too. They were saying next Dynamite, not next week. Did you watch last Wednesday's episode of AEW? I did. I thought as far as an empty arena show goes, it was about as good as it could possibly be. It was, again, wrestling is a very unique art form where you need the audience to get the full experience, but I thought AEW did it just about as well as you possibly could. And whenever they do come back, they've got Matt Hardy, they've got Brody Lee, they've got War Games to look forward to, they've got some matches lined up for their next show, so I think the next show they do is going to be red hot when they're allowed to hold their next episode. I live in the Tampa area. The Buccaneer bandwagon is back. I heard they already sold over 1,000 season tickets already. Oh, they're going to be disappointed, I think. How's your Giants going to be next season? Hopefully better. I mean, we can't. I feel like we can't get any worse, but we'll see. Hopefully we just kind of plug the holes, and hopefully Daniel Jones steps in and gets better, because he showed some promise, but he also, there's plenty of room for improvement. So here's hoping that he starts to get better. Sammy Guevara is a national treasure. His bit singing Jericho's theme song was the funniest thing I've seen in a dog's age, at least as far as wrestling goes. And I don't think that was planned. I think he just did that on the cuff, and Jericho looked like he was going to crack. The Browns are going to the Super Bowl. They still think that the tandem of OBJ and Baker Mayfield and all these other pickups they're getting, they're going to the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns are going to the Super Bowl. I'll believe it when I see it. Daniel Jones is going to be Eli without the ring. Sorry, brah. We'll see. We'll see. I don't like to... you never know who's going to make it and who's... I mean, I would have thought Dan Marino would have won a Super Bowl, and it didn't happen. And yet, somehow, through absolutely no praise to him, God, what was the Ravens quarterback when they won their first Super Bowl? What was his name? That piece of shit. That he was a crappy quarterback that got a ring because he was playing offense on a team that had the greatest... one of the greatest defenses of all time, but... God, what was his name? He was... God, I'm going to feel stupid when I hear his name. Do you think Tampa Bay Buccaneers will make the Super Bowl? I doubt it. Unless Brady is just that good. I highly doubt it. Yeah, Marino's a guy that should have got one, but didn't. Trent Dilfer! That's who it is. Thank you, Celtic Bird. That's who I meant. Trent Dilfer. Yeah, that guy. That guy has a ring and Dan Marino does not. So you never know. You never know what happens. What do you think of Brody Lee as the Exalted One? I like it. Brody Lee is a guy that was basically just a mid-card guy, and that's being kind, in WWE, so it's not like a huge surprise or anything, but it's like, alright, let's try and build this guy up from where he was and see if we can make something out of him and kind of give him his own identity here in AEW. So it was also kind of a nice swerve, because I think everybody was expecting Matt Hardy to be the Exalted One. And so you get Brody Lee instead, and then you get hit with the Matt Hardy debut at the end where he joins up with the Elite for the War Games match. So they kind of they were able to subvert expectations effectively, I think. Bucks were a 7-9 team last year. If they had a quarterback that didn't throw 30 picks, they would have been a playoff team. Maybe. I mean, their quarterback last year was a pick machine, so... yeah, it would have been funny to see the Bucks make it to the playoffs and Dallas Cowboys didn't, because that's another one. Dallas, they're always going to the Super Bowl every year. Dallas is going to the Super Bowl, and they hardly ever make the playoffs. And when they do, they're typically a one and done. And I constantly have to hear about how great they are. It's like, okay. Did you like the Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart? I liked it. They didn't cover any new ground or say anything that I wouldn't have expected Bret Hart to say. They covered the Montreal Screwjob, which I think we've heard a million times. They covered WrestleMania 13, which was fully expected given Austin and Bret were there together. And Bret got some shots in on Goldberg, which didn't shock me at all, but it's still like, it's like, wow, Bret's still angry about that. And, in a way, I can't blame him. His career was ended because of that, but at the same time, I don't think Goldberg deliberately tried to hurt him. Bucks go 10-6? Then, okay, we'll see. Worst fan base, Cowboys or Patriots? I'm going to say Cowboys because they're more obnoxious, I think. They're like... Yeah, the thing about the Patriots fans that tick me off is that they get upset when they lose. I'm like, motherfucker, you've won 6 rings. What are you upset about? Like, they were so pissed off after the Titans beat them this season. I'm like, are you seriously upset? Like, but in the Cowboys case, it's just this diluted... craziness where they think that they're going to go to the Super Bowl every year, and I'm like, what are you basing this off of? Because you haven't done jack shit in years. Decades, even. And, Have you seen Jake Roberts' recent comments on Bret and Shawn being the worst champions in history? I have, and they're very interesting. Now, I love Jake the Snake Roberts, and I think he's actually one of my favorite parts of AEW already, and he's only been on for 3 weeks. But... agree to disagree on that, and the reason I'm saying that is because, okay, he talked about how they didn't draw. I'm like, okay, Bret and Shawn were the 2 guys, and Diesel as well. I'll throw Diesel into that mix as well. They were kind of the flag bearers during the era, during the steroid trial, and during the down period, because the business as a whole was just trending down. And, the highs from the Hulkamania period, and the Jim Crockett, the highest highs that they had with Flair and everything, those days were gone, and they weren't drawing that well when they had Hogan in, 92. So, to blame Bret for that, I think is a little silly. I think is a little... And it plays into that mindset where if things aren't drawing well, it's automatically the champion's fault. And I've never subscribed to that because it doesn't take anything else into account. Bret had to be the guy during the steroid trial and had to, when the name of the WWF had been tarnished. Shawn had to be the guy after Diesel held it for a year and tanked. Diesel had to hold it after being poorly booked to get the title in the first place and was horribly presented. So it was just, those are 3 guys that got punished by factors that were probably outside of their control. So I don't think it's fair to call them the 2 worst champions in history. Love Bret, but he needs to get over that Goldberg kick. It was obviously an accident. Yeah, if Droz can forgive D'Lo Brown, I think Bret can forgive Goldberg. That's just my take. Who do you see making the next jump from WWE to AEW? I think the minute his contract is up, I wouldn't be surprised if EC3 was over there, in a heartbeat. Because EC3 is too good to be doing nothing. He's way too good to be doing nothing. B-Slim, welcome. The Cowboys can go 0-16, and the worst fans of theirs will still say the Cowboys are a Super Bowl caliber team. Probably, yeah. Post-steroid trial, you couldn't have asked for a better champ than Bret and Shawn. Bret was one of my guys. I really got attached to Bret during that era. And I started as a Hogan fan, and I took to Bret pretty easily. So, it wasn't there was no, major down period after Hogan left. And actually, I liked Bret more than I did Warrior, if, you're willing to believe that. Actually, in 92, when they turned Undertaker face, Undertaker and Bret were my 2 favorite wrestlers, almost overnight. It was crazy. WrestleMania 8 was a pivotal mania for me, because that really did a lot to sell me on Undertaker and Bret Hart as, being top guys. Shawn also had to hold it during the rise of the NWO. Yeah, not fun. That's, the other show's doing the hottest thing in wrestling, and you're just kind of trying to keep the ship afloat, and, yeah, exactly. Elijah, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. EC3 and MJF would make an interesting pairing. They would. Actually, they could probably be AEW's version of the Dynasty, if they want to do that. The Revival I can see jumping, which if they have a feud with the Bucks, I hope they will have a match that is under Bill Watts rules. That would be hilarious if they did that, actually. We're going to wrestle this match under Bill Watts rules. No high flying. None. Not at all. Which, that would actually be a case, because I hated that rule when Bill Watts brought that in. I thought it was stupid. But if you could do something like that, where like the heels can goad the Bucks and do a match like that, and then the Bucks shock them with how well they can do without high flying, that would actually be an interesting concept, I think. Didn't see the AEW show, but it must be awkward as hell now for Jeff. They've been in separate companies before, Matt and Jeff. I mean, they've been... this isn't the first time they've been in separate companies. Do you think WWE's done pushing Seth Rollins as a top guy? No, I think they'll keep him around just in case they need a guy like Randy Orton. The role that Orton's kind of played. It's like, all right, if you need a guy to hold the belt, we can give it to Orton. And I think Seth will be that guy for like the next few years or so. Old school wrestling. Just old school wrestling. Yep. No high flying, no over the top rope, no mats on the ground. Just old school wrestling. Because Bill Watts is a genius. I can see Jeff getting to AEW. I think Matt has plenty left. The thing about Matt is that with the broken gimmick, I could see him transitioning to like a manager role or something like that. That's a character that you can get some mileage out of even after Matt's done wrestling. So, see, Team Extreme Matt, not so much. Broken Matt, absolutely. You could pair him with somebody, and I think it would be great. Remember their catchphrase, no flips, just fists. Yeah, and that's why I like the Revival. They're a great team. Very good team. I mean, I would go as far to say they're my personal favorite team in NXT history. The only other ones that are close, I would think, would be like DIY and maybe Fish and O'Reilly. But injuries have kind of plagued Fish and O'Reilly a little bit in NXT and kind of halted their momentum at times. I would probably still go for the Revival as my personal favorite. Personally, I would love to see the Revival go to the NWA. Ooh, yeah, put them in the old school NWA format. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind that. Al Pacino's Scarface is the best remake ever. It's up there, for sure. I would also throw John Carpenter's The Thing up there. I would also throw... what was the other one I was thinking of? Oh, The Fly. Cronenberg's version of The Fly. But yeah, Scarface is such a good movie that people don't even realize it's a remake. I've never seen the original. I'll be honest. I've actually never seen the original Scarface, because why bother? There's no way it's better than the Pacino version. There's no way. Are you enjoying NXT at all these days? I was, up until all this happened. Yeah, I was enjoying NXT. I wasn't happy with all of their booking decisions. Like, I didn't like the finish to the cage match between Velveteen Dream and Roddy Strong a couple weeks ago. The weird thing with NXT is that they put it on Wednesdays to fuck with AEW. So there's kind of like this dirty, this almost feels malicious. And it kind of took the fun out of NXT a little bit for me. But I still like it. I still enjoy it. I still watch it. But some of the factors that made NXT so much fun initially are gone now. Like, I like that it was so far removed from Raw and SmackDown, because it's like, all right, I can just watch this and appreciate it on its own. Now NXT is basically integrated with Raw and SmackDown, and you're kind of losing that, like, isolation from everything else in WWE that I kind of liked about it. But that's probably just me being an old man yelling at the sky. And it's like, I like my wrestling this way. But no, I still enjoy NXT. I still think it's a really good show at times. And, come TakeOver time, they usually deliver. It's just... there are a couple of things that kind of get in the way of that enjoyment a little bit. Yeah. There's no, like, I don't know anyone that has watched it, to be honest. I've asked a bunch of people, have you seen the original Scarface? And they're like, no, I haven't. And I'm like, why bother at this point? So what are your plans for the weekend? What's everybody going to do for WrestleMania? Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, NXT was on Wednesdays, but they were on the network. I never once watched NXT on Wednesdays. I always watched it on Saturdays, because Saturday was kind of my catch-up day. And I watched Lucha Underground live on Wednesdays, but I never, like, it was never a consideration that I was going to watch NXT over Lucha Underground. It was, because it's like, NXT is going to be there waiting for me on the network, because it's on demand and I can watch it whenever I want. So it was never, like, a priority to watch it right away or watch it as it was airing. I was like, no, it'll be there. It'll be there when I'm ready to watch it, and it's fine. And so, yeah, the move to USA absolutely was done to spite AEW, but, you know. It is going to be weird as hell. Yeah, Mania is going to be an odd one. God, I can't do my Wrestlemania party this year either. That's another thing that was kind of becoming an annual tradition. I can't do the Mania party. Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating watch. You know, I made the comment that no WrestleMania will ever be as bad as WrestleMania 11. I feel like God challenged my statement. It's like, okay, I'll see if I can unleash this virus on the world and create one that's worse than WrestleMania 11. We'll see how it goes. But even if it is like terrible, I can't see anybody getting that upset about it, because it's like, what do you do? Like, you know? Greatest picture in sports history. For me, it's Ali standing over Liston or Bobby Orr's flying goal. I always like the shot of the Miracle on Ice when they got the go-ahead goal. And was it when they got the go-ahead goal, or was it when the buzzer ended? It was one of those, but like one of the players tackled another player, and I think it was after the buzzer had sounded, and you know, Al Michaels famous, "Do you believe in miracles? Yes!" And that picture of one of the players with his arms raised as he'd been tackled to the ground and everything, and all the players just standing all jubilant and happy. That's an image that really stands out to me as one of the all-time greats. The only people upset will be smarky assholes. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, does anybody disagree with me that 11 is the worst, though? Like, does anybody, like, no, I find it funny that not a lot of people try to fight me on that. It's like, yeah, 11's pretty bad. And, you know, 9, for all its faults, I can find things that I actually enjoy about 9. 11 is just, I honestly can't think of anything that I honestly liked about that show. Like, if I was going to rank my top 5 favorite aspects of WrestleMania 5, the Allied Powers theme song would be like number 2 or 3 on that list. That's how, like, bottom of the barrel, trying to find good aspects of WrestleMania 11, how, like, hard it would be. 27 was pretty bad. Yeah, it was bad, but at least it had Taker and Triple H, which was a pretty good match. I didn't think it was a fantastic match, but I liked it. So at least there was that. But yeah, the main event was garbage. Cole and Lawler was garbage, and everything else was largely forgettable. But yeah, 13 was saved by the I Quit match, or the submission match, for sure. Like, you remove that match completely, and 13 is the worst. But I think that submission match elevated it above being the worst. And then you have 9, which, there were things I liked about 9. I liked the pageantry of it, and how it looks different from every other Mania. I liked the Roman theme. I liked all the entrances. I liked the Steiner Head Shrinker match. I thought was pretty good. I enjoyed, I liked the tag title match. I know a lot of people kind of shit on it. It was a 3-ring circus, but I kind of enjoyed it. Also, Ted DiBiase got a win over Hogan. I'll take that any day. So there were things about 9 that I at least kind of liked. But yeah, 11 and 13 are just almost complete garbage. 27 was basically 28A. Yeah, well, they designed it to be that way. Yeah, absolutely. It was just a prelude to Rock Cena the next year. Oh no, I'm not. I mean, 27. It was the first WrestleMania I reviewed as part of this channel. Was 27. I remember it's one of the worst videos I ever did because I was sick when I did the review. I hated the show. I was sick, and I was in a bad mood because I was sick. So I just came across like the most surly asshole in that video. And I was never happy with it, but it's like, dude, I'm not refilming it because this WrestleMania sucked and it's not worth the effort. Yeah, no, that was the first really cool Undertaker WrestleMania entrance, was WrestleMania 9. Actually, I was thinking about it. What was the first really cool WrestleMania entrance of all time? For me, it was Roddy Piper with the bagpipes at WrestleMania 1. That was the first really cool one. I also really like the ring carts at 3 and 6, which I'm convinced that they had purely to get Andre to and from the ring. But they still looked cool when wrestlers used them, and it was like, man, I wish they'd kind of bring that back for the stadium shows. The ring carts. I don't know, I just thought it was a unique look, and I always liked it. And only 2 WrestleManias did it, so. It's a shame that Mania had a good run of shows until 27 happened. Well, let's look at this. 19 is... let's start with 19. I don't know why I'm starting with 19, but let's say... 19 is one of my favorites. 20 was a little overcrowded, a little messy in spots, but overall solid, and it came through when it needed to. 21 I liked. 22, not the biggest fan of the main event, obviously. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. There were some aspects to it that I really liked, so we'll say 22 was a good one. 23 felt incomplete, but the big matches delivered, so I was okay with it. 24 was good. 25, Shawn and Taker was very good, and there were a couple other good things, but the main events fell flatter than pancakes. So we'll give that one like a C. We'll say that one was okay overall. 26, overall good, but had some missteps. And 27 was a dumpster fire. So it's like, yeah, they didn't have like great manias leading into 26, but they did have like some solid ones, I'll say that. Andre and Bobby Heenan's entrance for Mania 3 is iconic. Yep, sure is. I would say Hogan at WrestleMania 3, but Piper's was better. The ring carts were a nice novelty. They were. Again, you see the ring card and you know which WrestleMania you're watching. It's that weird, like, identifying factor that is kind of neat, and I kind of like that. It's kind of like the set of WrestleMania 19 looks so radically different from all the other ones. You know you're watching WrestleMania 19 right away. Just by one screenshot, you know it's WrestleMania 19. 26 kind of had that aspect to it. I really like the set for 26. I like the set for 29. The set for 29 was arguably one of the better parts of the show. Of course, I was also there in person, but, you know. Do you think Mania as a 2-day event this year will just be a one-off? Probably, but it's so weird. Of all the ways to get what I wanted, where I was saying, it's like, look, if you're going to have this many matches and you're going to be this long, just make Mania a 2-day event like Wrestle Kingdom did this year. And then they turn around, we got a 2-day WrestleMania in the worst way possible. It's like, wow, be careful what you wish for, I guess. But I would like it to be an every year thing. If WrestleMania is going to keep getting longer, I would like for it to be an annual thing, but I have a feeling this is just something that they're doing to get around the current situation. Yeah, 19. I loved Safeco Field. That might be my favorite Mania venue. It just looked awesome. It's better than that piece of shit Citrus Bowl. Fuck the Citrus Bowl. Fuck the Citrus Bowl. Piece of garbage. Well, when 31 happened, people said it was a top 5 Mania of all time, and I was like, really? It's a top 5 of all time? I mean, the ending was good, and there were a couple other matches I liked, but I would not call that a top 5 Mania under any circumstances. Yeah, right, fuck the Citrus Bowl! Yeah, so 31 jumps out to me as being overrated, because people, like, were ready to crown that one as one of the best, and I was like, okay. WWE's starting to get lazy with Mania sets. Last year it was just a giant-ass screen. I'm sure this year it would have just been the same. Well, I hate that they've added, like, computer graphics to it. It looks so bad. It's... And they do it on Raw and SmackDown. They do it at WrestleMania. It just looks awful. It's like, please stop doing that. It looks terrible. I get that you keep wanting to push the boundaries of production and what you can do, but I think you've kind of reached a point where it's like, guys, you shouldn't. Just, no, please don't do this. Please don't do this. You were at the Citrus Bowl for 24. Well, I make that joke because if you've ever seen the Mania of WrestleMania documentary that they did around the time of WrestleMania 29, I think, and they did like the history of all the WrestleManias that had come before then, and they get to WrestleMania 24, and everyone that was interviewed just shat on the Citrus Bowl. It was like, it was so, like, needlessly mean. And so my friends and I started a joke where whenever we talk about WrestleMania, we're like, yeah, but fuck that Citrus Bowl. Fuck the Citrus Bowl. Fuck the Citrus Bowl. Piece of shit. And so that became like a running gag with my friends. But it's like, yeah, go back and watch that because it was hilarious how much they just crapped on the Citrus Bowl. Alrighty, I'm going to give this stream another... Let's say 15 minutes. I'll give it another 15 minutes. So if you want to get your questions in, do it now, ladies and germs. Because I got to go celebrate my birthday by eating a cake and drinking a beer in isolation. That sounds so sad when I say it out loud. It's a miracle that there wasn't a huge downpour at 24. I know, yeah, I remember thinking like, uh-oh, you may be tempting fate here. And it looked like it was going to happen, but fortunately it didn't. Since I'm going to be quarantined for the next few weeks, I'm thinking about just growing my beard out. Just to see. I've never actually tried to grow. I've had a goatee before, but I've never actually tried to like grow a beard out. I think I'm going to do that. Each video, I've just got more hair. This is just me. You like put screenshots of all my videos side to side, and you see this. I'm guessing the Citrus Bowl was improved for 33. Must have been, right? Are you a fan of the Mortal Kombat games? Interesting you should bring that up. I was not allowed to play Mortal Kombat when I was a kid because my mom was one of those moms that was very protective of this. Okay, she wouldn't let me play Mortal Kombat, but Unsolved Mysteries, I was completely allowed to watch that. Does that make sense? I don't think so. I don't think that makes sense at all. But hey, whatever. Hey, you can watch a show that's about murder and rape, but you can't play Mortal Kombat. Sure thing, Mom. That one, it was weird, like, the things that I got away with and the things that I didn't get away with. I was not allowed to watch The Simpsons until I was 12. However, before I started watching The Simpsons, I was watching Duckman. And Duckman is way worse than The Simpsons. So, it's weird the things that slip through the cracks. But Mortal Kombat, I didn't get to play it when I was younger, but when I did finally play them, I did enjoy them. I'm not the biggest, like, fighting game fan. I'm a mostly straight-up 2D platformer guy, but the Mortal Kombat games I've played have been a lot of fun, and I really enjoy them, so... What is your personal favorite WrestleMania that nobody would agree with you? I would say 7. I don't think anybody would say that 7 is their favorite, but that one is one I look back on with a lot of fondness. A, because I saw it when I was young, and I think that plays a lot into it. But, you know, it has one of my favorite Mania matches, which I designated as my favorite Mania match when I did the top 30 matches years ago. And that was Randy Savage and Ultimate Warrior in the career-ending match. I liked a lot of the, a lot of big feuds, a lot of good matches, a lot of big moments. I liked the main event. I know some people thought that that was in poor taste, but as a kid I was like, bad guy lose. Yay, and what better bad guy than an Iraqi sympathizer that used to be an American. Yay. So there was a lot of stuff I really enjoyed about that Mania. The blindfold match, some people hate it. I love it. I thought the tag title match was very good. I thought the opening tag match was very good. We got the WrestleMania debuts of both The Undertaker and the Road Warriors, even though they were largely squash matches. It was still cool to get them on a WrestleMania card. We got Andre the Giant's final appearance at a WrestleMania. The IC title match was very good. there was just a lot of stuff to enjoy. I love the DiBiase Virgil Piper angle post match. The DiBiase Virgil match at SummerSlam was much better, but I love the stuff that they did post match with Sherry thrown in and all that other stuff. So there was a lot to enjoy about WrestleMania 7. He won at WrestleMania 7 for America, damn it. I also remember Homer Simpson making a cameo in an episode of Duckman. He did, actually. I believe that they referenced The Simpsons a few times, if I recall. Unsolved Mysteries gets the yes. It's probably because back then Mortal Kombat caused a huge storm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was the media shitstorm. And that's why I got away with Duckman, because nobody watched Duckman. There's like 10 people were watching Duckman. So there was no media shitstorm, so I got away with watching it. But The Simpsons, there was a big media shitstorm and a controversy, so I wasn't allowed to watch it. And that's how that happens. You can watch it for free, but I don't want to buy you the game is what I'm... That's probably what was going on. Do you miss Cena at all, or are you cool with him going to Hollywood? I don't miss him one bit. I'm being completely honest. I don't miss him one bit in pro wrestling. I hope he puts over... Well, I mean, I guess if he puts over The Fiend, does it even matter? Considering everything that's happened, but... when I heard he was coming back for this Mania, I kind of just shrugged my shoulders. I'm like, sure. Whatever. Is MLB your second favorite sport? I'd say so. Yeah, baseball. I also like hockey, and March Madness is something I look forward to every year. As I've said before, when it comes to basketball, I prefer college ball over the pros, but yeah, baseball is something I love. Virgil may have well come out in Homer Simpson's opponent robe at WrestleMania 7. Actually, I've been rewatching the old Nitros, and there was a great moment where they showed what happened in World War III, where it was the contract signing between Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan for Starrcade 96, and the NWO came out, and Vincent, former Virgil, was there, and he was like kind of getting in Piper's face, and Piper said something like, "I taught you how to fight, don't get in my face." And I was like, "Ooh, I like that." There's some attention to detail there that I think Piper caught, but I'm not sure anybody else did. But that was a really cool moment, I thought. I'm really enjoying the Nitros. By the way, I mentioned something about a Nitro retrospective series. I plan on starting that next week, and it'll be like the pre-NWO era. So like late 95 from their debut all the way to the week before Scott Hall showed up on the first 2-hour episode. So I'll have a lot to say about that. It's just going to be me sitting in front of the camera talking about Nitro, and that's all it's going to be. But I think we can have some fun with it, too. I wasn't allowed to watch Family Guy until I was 14, so I've been there. I'm more of a Metalocalypse guy. I've never watched Metalocalypse. Family Guy came out when I was 14, and I was one of 10 people that watched it initially. I was one of the guys that was like, "No, dude, Family Guy is really good," and nobody watched it. And then it got canceled, and then it came back to life through like DVD sales and a rerun. It got rediscovered on Adult Swim and things like that. So I was part of the initial Family Guy fan base. But no, Metalocalypse, I never watched it. Is the Venture Brothers good? I haven't gotten around to watching it. It's very good. The only problem with it is that it takes goddamn forever for new seasons to come out. I think they're only on season... the last season they finished was 7, and that was like a year and a half ago, I think. And season 1 began when I had just graduated high school. I am now 35 years old. It takes forever for the new seasons to come out. So if you're going to get into Venture Brothers, keep in mind, you have long waits in between seasons. What did you think of the Joker movie? I think Joaquin Phoenix got nothing on Heath. I prefer the Heath Ledger Joker, but I love the Joker movie. I thought it was very good. And the controversy surrounding it I thought was overblown and stupid. I really feel like WB started that controversy just to get people to want to go see the movie, because they wanted to turn that movie into the forbidden fruit to kind of give it attention. And I think this whole outrage about this movie, I think it was completely manufactured by WB, just trying to stir shit online. But you know, I think it was completely overblown. All right, any more questions? Like I said, you got about 5-6 minutes. And the streams actually work pretty well today. Of course, I'm not playing the WWE Network while I'm got the stream running, but I haven't run into too many technical difficulties today. I'm happy about that. Happy about that. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. What's your favorite heel face turns? Favorite heel turn is Hogan at Bash at the Beach. Or Zbyszko on Bruno. That's another one that a lot of younger fans aren't aware of, but I think that's a very effective, like the quintessential textbook heel turn is Zbyszko on Bruno. Favorite face turns? Austin at Mania 13 is up there. Undertaker in 92, even though it was rushed. The minute they did it, I immediately accepted. And kid me, I immediately accepted Undertaker as a top face. Savage at WrestleMania 7, I think, is a good one. Savage also has one of my favorite heel turns when the Mega Powers exploded in 89. I think that's a great one. Any upcoming movies that you're looking forward to? The biggest one is Godzilla vs. Kong. I can't think of anything else, because Black Widow's coming out, but, I mean, I'm gonna see it, but at the same time, it's like, I know what happens to her because of Endgame, so it's hard to get too excited about it. And Wonder Woman, I want a Wonder Woman sequel, but I'm already upset that they brought Steve Trevor back, and I'm like, he better be like an evil clone or a robot or something, because if they brought him back from the dead, I'm going to be mad, because that's one of my major pet peeves with movies, or storytelling in general, when death doesn't stick. And that was, one of the biggest things that Wonder Woman got right in the first movie, killing off Steve Trevor. It was, the great, emotional highlight of the film. And sorry if I spoiled the first Wonder Woman movie for anybody, but to bring him back completely undermines that. It's one of the reasons I didn't like the Kingsman sequel, because they undid deaths in that movie, and I was like, fuck you. But yeah, the only movie I think I'm looking forward to be perfectly honest, is Godzilla vs. Kong. What was the movie that pissed you off the most that you can remember? I prefer the Raimi Spider-Man movies to the new ones. I do as well. I much prefer the Raimi films. Even Spider-Man 3. For its flaws, I'll take that over the Amazing Spider-Man movies, which felt like yesterday's eggs reheated. And the second one was just a, hilarious dumpster fire. But, movies that legit pissed me off. The one I keep going back to is Godzilla 1998, because I was really excited for that movie, and after that movie it turned out as badly as it did, I was like, alright, never get your hopes up ever again. 13-year-old me became a very jaded human after that experience. After that, I can't think of too many that legit pissed me off. The movies, those parody movies that dominated the 2000s, made me hate life. Those were pretty bad. And they actually, I think, destroyed cinematic comedy and did damage that we're still seeing to this day. Where cinematic comedy has just basically been completely obliterated because of those movies. With the Nitro retrospective, you're going to end it with the top 10 matches or moments in Nitro history. I wasn't thinking about it because the Nitro retrospectives, I said I'm only going to go up to the Finger Poke of Doom episode. I think that's a good place to stop it, because everything after 99 and 2000 and 2001 is just going to be, piss me off. There's very little to enjoy in those years. But, yeah, I hadn't thought about it. Maybe I could do that, a top 10 from the episodes that I watched. Maybe do a top 10 episodes thing. That would be nice. Fast 9 is ridiculous. How in the hell is Han back? I know. I think Fast and the Furious jumped the shark. I guess dying in a burning car isn't that bad. It's like, yeah, that undermines, oh my god, that undermines so much, because it also undoes Tokyo Drift. It undoes that movie, and it also takes away from Shaw as the bad guy for the movies where he was the bad guy. So it's like, it undoes so much that had been done before. Are the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies your favorite? Favorite what? Favorite Spider-Man movies? They're up there. Into the Spider-Verse I would put up there with them. But, I think as far as the live-action Spider-Man movies go, I think they're the best. 1 and 2 especially. The Amazing Spider-Man movies. The MCU Spider-Man movies, they're good. They're perfectly solid, entertaining movies. But I don't think they've reached the emotional highs of 1 and 2. It's just my opinion. And to be fair, Spider-Man Homecoming was creative and had some creative stuff in it, and I liked Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home, but they're not, like, fantastic movies. They're just perfectly fun summer popcorn movies, and that's about as high as I'll go with those. I think the Raimi Spider-Man movies, especially 1 and 2, are the two best. I think they kind of killed parody movies at least, but stuff like Judd Apatow kind of did more damage to comedies nowadays, since some comedies still do that stupid style. Yeah, I mean, that's another style that kind of got driven into the fucking ground, but, parodies. We should still have movie parodies today, and the fact that we don't just pisses me off. And this is coming from somebody who's a big fan of Mel Brooks, and I love the Zucker Brothers movies from back in the day, and it's like, and we just don't have an equivalent to that. And the MCU is ripe for parody. It would be I would love to see like a Mel Brooks style MCU movie, but I don't think we're gonna get it. Green Goblin, I hated the look of Green Goblin in that first movie, but Willem Dafoe made me forgive it. Like, I was able to forget while the movie was in progress. It's like, you know what, I still hate this design, but whatever, I'm gonna go with it. I can't stand Judd Apatow movies. Awful. There's some that I like. I like Superbad, to be honest. Superbad, for me, is like, that's the movie that captured the high school experience for me. Like, when I think about what high school was really like, Superbad, that was my high school experience. And before anybody asks, yes, I know a kid that was like McLovin. Corporal, give me the video cassette of Spaceballs the movie. Fast and Furious is a series that tries to be something it's not with the family connotations, but they are not able to pull it off. They should just be fun popcorn movies. Yeah. He did do Superbad, yep. Every once in a while I'll go back and revisit Superbad, and I still laugh at it. Favorite whiskey? Jack Daniels. And Jack Daniels is a great... It's just reliable. It's like the apple pie of whiskeys. It's just so reliable. And it's tasty and gets the job done. I also like Bullet. Okay, we're going to give this... I'm going to give everybody a chance to ask one more question before I go. So, go now, because I'm ready to sign off here. You like Fireball? I love Fireball. Fireball's great. I love to put that in my hot chocolate. It tastes fantastic. God, I sound like an alcoholic. I put booze in everything. If you could direct any movie in your own vision, what would it be? I would make movies that are purely for me and no one else, which is why I would never be put in charge of a movie, but I would love to direct a black and white 1930s, 1940s style Universal monster movie. I would love to direct one of those just so I could experience making one and just so I could experience like watching another one of those again for the first time. Because I've seen all the best Universal monster movies. I've seen them all already, and it's like I want another one of those. And if I could direct my own movie, I would make another one of those in that style. No CGI, all effects, all like, makeup and all that stuff, and the same cinematic techniques that they used back then, and just make a movie in that style. I would love to watch that. Fernando, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you could drink with one wrestler, past or present, who would it be? Not Jake Roberts or Scott Hall. That's for sure. I would love to drink with Kevin Nash. Because Kevin Nash just seems like a really cool dude. And I feel like, if we're drinking, he would get talking about stuff. Like, not necessarily wrestling-related stuff, but just all kinds of things. And I think we could just shoot the shit and have a fun time. So Kevin Nash would be a fun one to drink with, I think. Thoughts on Brady leaving? It's shocking. It's very, very shocking, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens with him going to the Bucks and with what Belichick and the Patriots do on the other side of things and if they're able to fill the void. Besides Super Bowl 42, favorite moment in Giants history? Beating the Cowboys in the playoffs that same year. That was a feeling that was better than sex. I'm not going to lie. That night was one of the top 10 greatest nights in my entire life. And when I get married, I will probably rank it over my marriage. That's how much I love that night. Andre the Giant would be awesome to have 108 beers with. So, alright, are there any more questions before I go? Any more? Retro Kid, welcome. Didn't know you were here. Welcome, welcome. Howdy do. All right, well, I think that's it. I think I've got all my questions. You got all your questions in. I think I've answered them all. So I'm going to sign off here. Thanks again, everybody, for helping me out on my birthday and spending some time with me and giving me something fun to do while I'm stuck in isolation. I really appreciate it. So thanks again, everybody. Like I said, I'm going to keep making videos, so that's one thing that the coronavirus is not going to stop. So you will be seeing more content from me, and I do want to do more live streams. Thankfully, this one turned out much better than the last one I did. But that is all I have now. Thanks again, everybody, and thank you all for the birthday wishes. I'm going to go have some drinks, eat some cake, and try to salvage the rest of my birthday. But you all have a good one. Thanks again, and I'll see you all later.